Alright, so this is a Nove Education podcast.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another episode for you today. Tuesday morning, September the 26th. I hope everybody is doing all right. How was everybody's weekend? Mine was dope. College football on Saturday. NFL week 3 on Sunday. Know what I mean, man? Caught the fight nights. Damn, what a crazy fucking fight night, you know what I'm saying? I had a parlay where I had Charles Jourdain winning. I had Bryce Mitchell winning. I had Marina Rodriguez winning. And it would have all came together. In fact, I had 2 parlays with those same people. It would have all came together at one DraftKings parlay as well. If my boy Rafael Fiziev didn't blow out his knee. You know what I'm saying? That was a good matchup. A lot of people, it was kind of overlooked. But once I was calling one of my boy Dieter, shout out to Detour. He was like, who's fighting this weekend? And I was like, dog, it's Fiziev versus Gamrot. He's like, oh shit, you know? And it's that type of matchup. It was a good matchup. Nothing to take away from Gamrot. Gamrot's a bad motherfucker. And, you know, this is MMA and all things come into play. And it wasn't like a freak accident. You know, a lot of people think, oh, injuries are just freak accidents. Well, maybe Fiziev's footing could have been a little bit better. Maybe had he focused on that a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that go into MMA. But ultimately, went from winning, I believe it was like 4 plus to winning $15. So not a bad day. But Saturday we also had the huge upset with Colorado. I don't think it was a huge upset, but I think when I mean upset, I don't mean because Colorado wasn't supposed to win. But I think a lot of people thought that Colorado had way more in the tank. Where realistically, if you looked at the bigger picture from the inside looking out, you would see that the first 3 squads, pretty good squads, but not top of the tier. You know what I'm saying? And Colorado still had to pull out those wins in the end. And numbers were scored on them. And now you face a team like Oregon, who I don't know why people were sleeping on Oregon. And I said it from the beginning. We got to worry about Oregon. You guys know that. I've been saying that shit. But they were in Autzen Stadium. You know, Oregon had this chip on its shoulder because it seemed like everybody was looking forward to the Colorado SC game. When I was just like, well, hey, you guys got to get past them Ducks first. You know what I'm saying? We're worried about them Sun Devils right now. You know, we're not worried about them Buffaloes right now. We're not worried about Showdoer and Primetime right now. We're worried about Arizona State. Everyone was marking them calendars for Colorado versus SC, completely overlooking the badass squad that is right now the Oregon Ducks. And do I agree with the rankings right now? I guess the AP poll rankings? No, of course not. I don't think SC should have slid down 3 slots, you know, even though it was an ugly win. But granted, it was a win. I believe we won by like 20 points. I don't have the numbers right up on me right now. But it was an ugly win, but it was a win nonetheless. I think reason being is just because the way Oregon came out and just stomped on Colorado and kept their foot on the neck, kept the gas going. I think that shows a lot to, I was kind of hoping it was a better game. That way, we go into Colorado, we show them what's up, and we get that spotlight. You know, Caleb gets that spotlight. That would have been great, but, you know, shout out to my boy Ray, Oregon alumni, and, you know, for Oregon getting that spotlight, getting everybody tuned in. I was tuned in. I was hoping for a good game, bro. I was hoping for a jam-packed Saturday. You know what I mean? That day where, like, these games are just all close. They're all good, but morning games were not close, which how it usually plays out. SC in the back end of the day. I believe the game was at 7:30 California time, and yeah, it was a tough win. It was an ugly win. Seems like SC, they want to like try out things. That we're trying out things where that tryout stage is no longer. You know what I mean? Where week 1 was definitely that tryout stage. Week 2, maybe you could try some new things. Have the bye week 3, and then have the bye. We should definitely have a more solid game plan going through. And I said a few weeks ago, if you guys remember, I said that, yeah, the team looks great. The team looks good. Defense looks a little bit better. But what I would like to see more is more efficiency and consistency on the offensive side. We can't just keep getting away with these huge plays that come from a broken play. I would like to see schemes come to fruition. I would like to see the run game coming up a little bit more. So we're going to see. This is still going to be a test. We're not overlooking. I hope we're not overlooking Colorado. They got a chip on their shoulder. They got primetime Deion Sanders as their coach. And he did say that this is going to be the worst as it gets. So I would think that they're going to go in realizing, okay, it ain't all sweet. This is the model for the season, bro. Both NFL, fantasy football, college. This is the model, bro. Shit ain't all sweet. Sometimes it's got to get dirty. For those of the people who are saying that, it's because Travis Hunter was out and Travis Hunter's going to be out against SC. That's why SC is going to be the favorite. I believe SC is the 21.6 favorite right now. I don't really look too much into that as far as college football unless I'm trying to bet that spread. I don't really look much into that because college football, anything could happen. Anything could happen in college football. Just so happens that Colorado ran into a wall. And my boy David Dominguez, shout out to David, the Dominguez League. He asked, is this bad for the Pac-12? Because it looked like there was powerhouses rising again in the last season of the Pac-12. We had Washington coming up there, Oregon doing its thing, SC doing their thing, UCLA, but before the loss, Colorado getting all this shine now into the top 25, now out of the top 25. Like, is it bad for Pac-12? What do you guys think? Me personally, I don't think it's bad. I think this gives a little bit more clarity to the Pac-12 rankings. And I believe Oregon is jumped to number 1 in the Pac-12, which is whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. You know what the fuck I mean? So I really, I do think that it is not a bad thing, but it's not great. Because had Colorado put up a better game against Oregon, then that I would have said, hey, this is the best thing to happen for the Pac-12 in its last season together with the Kings leaving. I'm talking about Trojans leaving next season. I think that they would have been great. But the fact that they got stomped the way they did, it puts a little blemish, but it's not bad. But it's not great. What we do know now is that it's top heavy. Very top heavy. Oregon, I'm an SC fan, so I don't agree with Oregon being number 1 right now. But they're probably the best team right now because they showed out in a primetime game with everybody's eyes looking at them, and they looked good. Bo Nix looked good. Now, we'll have to see this weekend, and I fully expect Colorado to come out playing good, playing great football. I fully expect it to be a close game. I hope for a close game. You know what I mean? I hope for a good game. And I'm ready for SC to get disappointed. But also, I know that SC has the players, the scheme, and the defense to beat Colorado. So I'm saying bring it on, bro. That's my shit all season. It ain't all nice. Shit ain't all nice. Shit ain't all sweet. Bring it the fuck on. I do have SC winning the game. I think Caleb looks at the performance from last week. The defense looks at the performance of last week. Alex Grinch has a lot of things to fix, and my feelings towards Grinch. If you don't know, go ahead and do some research. I'm not gonna bash on the man again, but there is a lot of things that he needs to be fixed because in the past we've had trouble with running quarterbacks. I do not know if Shador is a running quarterback, but if he uses the legs, that could pose as a problem. As we saw, I just saw a stat right now. The quarterback for Arizona State, he only threw for 46 yards, but he had 111 rushing yards with, I believe, a few touchdowns. That's no good. That is no good right there. Granted, we're still scarred, bro. We're still scarred from Vince Young. Leave me alone. We are still scarred from Vince Young. So it is what it is, though. And I can't wait, fight on. I'm going to be watching that shit. No UFC this weekend. I believe we have in 2 weeks the Makhachev Oliveira 2, the rematch. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts on that. We talked a little bit about that fight and some of the UFC on Sunday with my boy G and my cousin Ian, live outside podcast, recording through the games. So if you guys want to check that out, we did talk about it. And, I believe there's a lot of unnecessary hate for Islam, and the points that were brought up from my boy G, which are valid and good points, is that he only got the shot at the title right in the coattail of Khabib. And real fans know that he lost to Volkanovski. But my thing is, no matter what, the facts are the facts. Tangible things, real things that we can actually hold on to. Truths are that he is the champion. He did submit Oliveira, and it wasn't like he caught him somewhere. He manhandled him, and he did enough to beat Volkanovski. I'm on the side. Clearly, I'm on the side of, hey, if this was a street fight, he had lost that street fight. No doubt, 100%. Let's get that out of the way already. I'm tired of this narrative of people saying, like, oh, you don't think he lost that fight? You don't think the judges gave it to him? I think he did lose the fight, but he won the game. He won the contest, the outcome. And that's what this is. What are you going to do? Are you going to, it's the same thing. Like if I had to compare it, it would be like if a Kyrie Irving just dribbling his ass off, dribble God, spin, juke, finger roll, layup under the basket, spin 360, makes the basket. That looks pretty. That looks great. Or you got somebody like Tim Duncan who's just gonna back you up and then boop, hit the backboard. It's still 2 points. At the end of the day, who scores the most? And I think that is a narrative that a lot of people are losing in sports in general. When people say, oh, like so-and-so sucks, so-and-so, this person sucks. It's like, dude, these people don't suck. These athletes don't suck. They are professionals. There's just ways to go about everything. People hate like, oh, when you need it, when a quarterback needs it to win the game. Why? This is the game, bro. And I think that Islam won the game against Volkov. He won the contest against Volkanovski. And I think he definitely beat Oliveira. And whether or not everybody is saying this, that Oliveira was off. Oliveira had a bad game, bad day, bad fight, didn't look the same, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So what? The fight still has to happen. And now, with that narrative comes the rematch. And I don't think it's necessarily that rematch, that narrative is why the rematch is happening. I think Oliveira deserves a chance at a shot again to get it back because he was the champ for a minute. He has the most submissions in UFC history. And, you could spin it that he didn't have a good day. And I guess, Dana White will bite onto anything when it comes to that. But I'm sure the reason why is because he was the champ for a minute. And he did clear out that division, that top half of that division. We're talking Chandler, Gaethje, Poirier, and then he just couldn't get it done against Islam. So, yeah, excited for the fucking fight. I would like to see a better fight. You know, I don't know what like my friends think that I'm not an Oliveira fan. My thing is just that when they say, oh, he had an off night, that's taken away from Islam. Like, so what if you have an off night? Islam didn't. Islam manhandled, you know? So we got to stop. We got to get away from this narrative and start looking at the bigger picture of everything in sports. Everything in sports. Like, the one thing, though, I cannot explain.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this past NFL weekend. There's so many things that we can talk about, can discuss, but let's go ahead. Niners are the Niners. Dolphins put up 70 points. That's a Weber moment, you know. I like that narrative. The story narrative, you know, you cannot write this better. Where that Mike McDaniel was a ball boy for Denver. And 2 seasons ago, when Denver needed a head coach position, they didn't even let Mike McDaniel, sorry. They didn't even let him interview. And, you know, the whole narrative of last year, Sean Payton saying, you know, I believe that Tua was going to be benched soon, that he will be benched. He won't be a starting quarterback. And he runs up that score against Denver. And Denver has a good defense. And here's the shit that I've always told everybody. Defenses got to have a different judge on them. Because you think, oh, you score so many points on this defense that the defense sucks. No. A defense is supposed to bend, but it can only bend so much before it breaks. An offense has to keep the defense in the game. I know that sounds a little bit inside out, but you got to have a good offense to keep the game going, keep the game interesting, keep the defense getting in different formations. Because if your defense is just out there all game, basically about 55% of the game, and your offense is always getting a 3 and out, come on, bro. Like, eventually, the better offense is going to expose a good defense anytime. You know what I'm saying? So let's not say, I do think that Denver has a good, solid defense, a top 5 defense. It's just that offense is not moving, you know? But that narrative right there was good. Shout out to them. My Saints fucking blew a 17-0 lead. And as much as I would love to say, oh, it's because Derek Carr went down, he did go down. And of course, yes, the passing game didn't work ever since he went down. Jameis didn't look too good coming in. But my thing was coaching. Here's another example of coaching coming into play of a win and a loss. What I saw when I saw the Saints game, when I saw Derek Carr go down, and then I saw the first drive of Jameis Winston, I thought to myself, why are you passing the ball 3 times? You know? And then they come down, they score a field goal, and we continue to pass the ball. Now, I know that the scheme of that offense is very pass heavy. Alvin Kamara is out. Jamal Williams is out. We have Tony Jones Jr., and Kendra Miller, the rookie. Miller coming off of a hamstring. But my thing is, why not just design some runs? Throw Taysom Hill in there. Get some run game going. Because you know what happens at the run game? Even if it goes nowhere, do you know what happens? The clock starts to run. You eat away at the clock. You make them beat you with limited time. You don't give them the opportunities to win, bro. Because every time there's an incomplete pass, that clock stops. No matter what. I'd rather get 0 gained on the play on a run than a pass. Because at least a run is chewing some clock. And that's just coaching, man. There's a lot of, and you know, I got into this too on Sunday where this is a professional business before it's a sport. You know what I'm saying? It's a professional business. And in business, the safest route is always probably the route these coaches or general managers are going to go with, you know. But when it comes to the sport element, You got to go for the fucking balls, bro. You got to take that shit. You got to go for the ball. You got to take that shit, bro. You got to take chances. You got to venture into the unknown. What if? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Marvel's What If storyline. What if? You got to venture into that. You know, no hate on Jameis. Love Jameis. I think this next, and think about this storyline. Car goes down. Jameis is starting next week against his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, bro. Who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just lost last night. And whoever wins this game could possibly quite take over the NFC South. You cannot write a better script for that. So, coaching is the issue in New Orleans. I think if they get their head out of their ass, Dennis Allen, bro, he is a good coach when he wants to be. Why is he so predictable? You know, being predictable in football is one of my worst pet peeves. I don't care what game I'm watching. If you're a predictable coach, play calling and everything like that, that grinds my fucking gears, bro. You know. But one thing I cannot explain is, I mean, I guess I could try to explain it, is the upset victory by the Cardinals over the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to my girl. Apologize for that game. You know what's funny? We were going to go to that game too. I was going to go to that game because for sure I thought like, hey, my girl's never seen the Cowboys. We're going to go to the game. And, you know, this is a for sure dub, right? This was before the season started. I'm like, this is a for sure dub. You know, have a little weekend in Arizona. It's nice out there. And, you know, the Cowboys are going to get the dub for her. I thought, cool, let's go. And then she's like, I don't really want to go to Arizona at that point. You know, let's do something else. So we ended up getting tickets for the Chargers game. Chargers game was cheaper. Could be a better game, closer game, but I'm like, fuck it. And after watching this game, I'm like, well, good thing. Good thing we didn't go to that game, huh? I don't know what it was. I think Dallas, they got too much into their heads, and then they started playing with their backs against the wall as if they were going to lose already. That's the only way I could see this game going the way it went. Arizona played hard, bro. And Arizona looks like a team that plays hard for what is it, Gannon? Gannon, I think that's his name. Not Rich Gannon. I forget his name, but Gannon, I believe, is their new coach. The team looks like they're playing hard for them, bro. And Joshua Dobbs, shout out to him. He's a bona fide backup in this league. You know, you think about the great backups. You think of, Matt Flynn. You think of Teddy Bridgewater, Nick Foles. I would throw Dobbs in there, bro. You know, Dobbs has just been floating around for a while, but he seems to be getting it. You know, he gets football. He's a baller. He understands. He knows how to read defenses. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of quarterbacks, even in the professional league, Zach Wilson, who don't know how to read defense. It just looks like that. I don't know. And it looks like Dobbs knew how to read defenses, got the ball into the playmakers. The play calling was good, very unpredictable. Defensive scheme-wise, it was very good. I'm not going to blame it on Trayvon Diggs being out for the season, but yeah, that is something that they're definitely going to be missing in that defensive back room, because that's a big blow. A lot of the Cowboys' defensive, stops and points come from those interceptions and turnovers, and you put Trayvon Diggs out of that mix, that's another opening slot that you're gonna have to fill on the defensive side. But Michael Parsons, still a badass, Doug. He's probably gonna win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't like how people are saying that Aaron Donald for the Rams is washed already, when on every single play he's being triple teamed. Let's take that fact into narrative that he's being triple teamed majority of the games. I did not get to watch last night's game before I was at work, and I didn't watch the highlights yet, but I would have to think that he was being triple teamed. You know what I mean? What else? Good win for the Packers, though, over the Saints. Shout out to my boy, Sour DJ. That was a good win for the Packers. I did like the way they won. I did like the way Love took that game and took what they, took the fucking mistakes by the defensive and offensive play calling of the Saints. Came back and won in Lambeau. in clutch fashion. That was dope as fuck. I'm a Saints fan. I'm the one who lost. I'm the one who, I'm feeling that repercussion, but I still think that is bad as fuck. You know what I'm saying? What else do we got? The Eagles definitely, they look like back to their normal form just a little bit. Jalen Hurts, with struggles, but it's all good. It's all good. I think Jalen Hurts they'll definitely figure it out. And I like how he gave a comment regarding his struggles. He said, we're winning. And when did winning become not the most important thing? And that's something too. We, as a fantasy manager, fantasy player, we think like, oh fuck, once the stats are going down and everything, like, this player, there's some questions on this player. Yeah, that's a fantasy outlook. But realistically, if the team is winning, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? What do we got here? The Browns looking good. The Browns beating the Titans. Patriots beating the Jets. Patriots looking like a pretty good squad, bro, right now. Defensively, as always, Bill Belichick. Bill's defense came to life, but of course that was against a Commanders offense who I think, the Sam Howell test is probably over. I don't know, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think Jacoby Brissett should start. And I said it on Sunday too. I think that the same way Andy Dalton is a better quarterback, makes the team better for Carolina, I think Jacoby Brissett would do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So Chargers get that dub over the Vikings. The Vikings looking, they look like they're shooting it out, but that defense has a lot of struggles, and it's just, they're 0-3, and the chances to make the playoffs are now very slim. So Vikings fans, I know you guys had high hopes for this season. Hopefully it turns around quick. Seahawks look good. And the Chiefs obviously come back and put 41 on the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears side, there's a lot going on there, bro. There's things I think that the coaching staff needs to address. And I think it's the disconnect between the coaching staff and the players. Most importantly, Justin Fields, bro. After that comment that Justin Fields said, I think it's coaching. Yeah, it probably is coaching, but you don't throw your fucking coaches, your coaching staff under the bus, bro. When honestly, you're playing bad football, Granted, though, there's a lot of things that go into it. There's the confidence, there's the play calling that can, there's a lot of things that go into it. It's not that Justin Fields sucks, and it's not that he doesn't know how to read a defense. It's just a lot of other things. There's the confidence, there's the play calling, there's the schemes, there's a bunch of things that go into it, But still, you do not throw your coaching staff under the bus when you yourself have been making horrible mistakes. Let's just call it like it is. Granted, though, last season, it was the same thing up until like about week 6. You know what I mean? Until week 6, to where they finally switched up that offense, made it a more run heavy, used fucking Justin Fields' superpower, which is his legs, put him in the fucking option, put him in the read. I think that's where Justin Fields, he got the team got better. There's no reason why they should be struggling this much. Granted, yes, the defense is not great, but the offense shouldn't be struggling as much as it is. DJ Moore out there, Mooney out there, Cole Kmet out there, Herbert and Roshan Johnson. There's no reason this offense should be struggling the way it is, but it is. And I think it's just scheme. It's all scheme. It's all confidence building. There's a lot of confidence plays a huge part in a young quarterback's career path. You know what I mean? Steelers defeated the Raiders, and Steelers, they look cool. They look cool, but the Raiders just don't look great. They look like they're plateauing. Devontae Adams is still top. I still think Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the league. You call me crazy because Justin Fields and Chase out there. I think Devontae Adams is still the best receiver in the league, and I think he proved it on, Sunday night, bro. Even with this loss, even with whatever's going on, no matter what quarterback it is, he's just a better receiver. And I still think Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the league. I'm talking about football, like regular football. I'm not talking about fantasy. Now, even though he scored in PPR, full point PPR, he scored 40 points, 49 points. I mean.
That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
That's him, bro.
Right.
Devontae Adams is him. So Eagles beat the Bucks. And yeah, so we got the Bucks this weekend coming up. As a Saints fan, we have the Bucks this weekend. I think it should be a good game. You know, Bucks look good. Eagles are a great team, you know, so you can't take anything away. But I think that the Bucks kind of just felt like, oh shit, we're not gonna win this game, so let's go try our best, you know. But I know for a fact they know that Sunday is a very, very winnable game. And I don't know where it's being played. So let's see the week 4 outlook. Yeah, they're playing in New Orleans, right? It's got to be at New Orleans. Yep, the Caesars Superdome. Saints are a 3-point favorite. So Buccaneers, they would love to get that upset over us. I would hate that. You know what I'm saying? But I do think now with the full week's game planning, scheming, Alvin Kamara is coming back, baby. So let's get down. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Definitely, it's going to be a motivated Jameis Winston because Jameis Winston is always motivated. So if you just add the fire of, hey, we need you, this team needs you, and you're gonna go up against your former team, who we pretty much handle every season except for the playoffs, every year except for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I think this should be great. The one thing about the Saints, I would say, and yes, I'm focusing on the Saints right now because I am a Saints fan, motherfuckers. They're a good team, bro. They have all the intangibles to be a playoff team. We have the receiving core to do it. Obviously, we've seen it. We have the running back room to do it. Maybe our tight end is where we're lacking a little bit. We have the defense to do it. Defense is, like I said, you got to look at the big picture. Oh, you let them come back 17-0. That defense is that good? No, they suck. No, the defense is badass, bro. It's just when an offense doesn't help out a defense, a defense can only bend so much. You know what I'm saying? Before it breaks. Badass defense. Good enough quarterbacks. I think we got quarterbacks that can do it. Me personally, you guys know how I feel. I'm going to throw Taysom Hill in there all day because there's the unknown. There's the gritty. This is going to be a dirty game and you don't know what the fuck we're going to run. Taysom might throw, Taysom might run, Taysom might give off, Taysom might run an option. There's so many more aspects you can use for Taysom. So you take the less accuracy for the more big playability. That's personally me. But hey, I'm not I'm not in the coaching staff right there. But I do think the problem with the Saints is coaching, play calling, and scheming. When the Saints have a good scheme and they're unpredictable, I don't see many teams that could beat them. I don't see many. There's a few teams, obviously, the top guys. But other than that, I don't see that. I think it's just coaching that bites themselves in the ass. And, we'll go from there. We will go from there. But I think that's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. A little short show today. Got to get the day started. Got to get into work in a little bit, get ready, make some food. Hope everybody will be doing all right. Let me know how you guys are doing in your fantasy leagues. I think overall, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4 leagues right now. One I'm 2-1. The other one I'm 1-2. Another one I'm 1-2, and another one I'm 3-0. So it's all over the place for me right now. Who is your champion as of right now? A lot of people drafted Raheem Mostert a little late. I believe Mostert was going late 3rd, 4th round. So that could be, a winner right now. I personally, when something like that happens, I usually try to sell high on that. When a player has a huge game like that, I usually try to sell high, but I probably would not sell Mostert right now. If you're selling Mostert, you're saying, Salvon Ahmed and Jeff Wilson Jr. are coming back. Yeah, they will come back eventually. But even if they do come back, Mostert's still the starter, baby. Mostert is still the starter. So I think you got to stay in the flames of Mostert. You got to stay in the flames with A-Chain right now, or A-Chan, Devon A-Chan, as he said it. You got to stay in those flames. But if there's anybody out south, it'll be probably Devon A-Chain. Selling for the fucking high right now. I don't know what kind of offer you could put together to sell him for, but someone definitely will want him. And you sell him on the fact that, hey, look at him. He's explosive, he's young, and he could take it with the backfield. Yeah, he could, but let's say he doesn't. He's still safe, but Ahmed will return and Jeff Wilson will return. He could take one to the house no matter what, but that opportunity is going to dwindle once these running backs return. And we know that Miami loves to use the running back. So I don't know. That's what I would do with those big plays, big play guys. I said a few weeks ago, I would sell Puka Nacua. Sell him for whatever you can right now because, once Cooper Kupp comes back, it's going to be bad probably for both of them. It'll be better for Cooper Kupp because he's the guy there. But, I think splitting those targets is, mainly that's volume. Volume is king in fantasy football. I mean, just look at Keenan Allen, bro. Keenan Allen is set the fuck up. Finally, Keenan Allen managers, they're loving it. I'm loving it. I had Keenan Allen for 3 years now. In the past 2 years, I've dealt with his injury all season long, and I've kept him, and I'm still in the flames, and now we're finally rejoicing, So Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are all volume plays. So once you split that volume, the points will dwindle. So I thought, you should sell Puka Nacua right damn now, You cannot trade for Kamara because Kamara's back now. I've been trying to trade him for almost in every league I am. There was one league where I almost had compromise, but the dude backed out. I believe I was ready to trade Calvin Ridley and who went off? There was a running back that did good. I think it might have been Montgomery. I think it was Calvin Ridley and Montgomery for Kamara. And that's a lot to give up, for somebody who's going to be sitting for the next, I believe it was 2 weeks. And dude backed out, and I would have been way happy with Kamara right now in that situation. So, yeah, but you guys let me know. Let me know what you guys think UFC-wise. Let me know what you guys think college football-wise. Who do you got this Saturday? Colorado versus SC. Who do you got winning the Heisman? They're leaders in the Heisman right now. Homeboy from Washington is, making a run for his Heisman candidacy, if that's even the word. And then Sunday, who do you guys got for your squad? Let me know who you guys are playing and your fantasy football, how you doing, who you're high on, who you low on, who you looking to trade for, who you picking up, all that bullshit. But till then, ladies and gentlemen, catch you guys later. Peace.
All right, so this is a No Education podcast.